How's it going? It's your boy J Meta. First off, look at my base. Look how dope it is. It's, by the way, the M is made out of metal because I'm meta, but without the L, because I don't take L's. Ha! Whatever. So I wanted to make a quick video because I've been playing the game for a while and I do consider myself a veteran. I don't usually outskill players when I win, but I usually outsmart them, and I wanted to give you guys tips that in my personal opinion have helped me out a lot, and I don't really see a lot of people doing this often or at all. So I'm in the PvE version of the game because I can control the environment here. I don't have to worry about getting shot while I'm making these tutorials or running out of material because I have unlimited wood, you know. But first off, a lot of people do recommend, you know, going with the Combat Pro, and if you don't use it, I highly suggest you go to it ASAP, because being able to switch back and forth will definitely help you by like 90%. I'm doing the math, you know, I'm mathematicians. But here is what a lot of people do suggest. They usually suggest to changing your pyramid to a ramp. Now here's the thing. Usually, let's say, you know, you build your ramp, your little fort, and there's people that like to snipe. Usually, you know, you have your little sniper. So what usually they do is you put up a pyramid, and you know, it gives you good protection. You can pop out the corner, and it's a good thing. But if you're using the ramp, you can't, you know, it's hard sometimes, or you know, you have to put it down and then edit it, and then boom, voila, right? What I think it's always easier to hold down the edit and then just click R3 to reset it and go back to the pyramid. But here is a thing that I have found come very, very useful, and here is what I do. So usually I like to put a door on my walls always, and what this allows me to do is that, let's say I build my little ramp, trap myself inside, bam, voila, right? It lets you come out and come in if you mess up or get yourself stuck. Let's say you get yourself stuck. What? Oh, whoops. Accident. Don't worry about that. Let's say you get yourself stuck under your own pyramid, right? Let's see if I get stuck. There you go. If you put doors on your walls, you're able to come out and just reset instead of having to edit. Especially if you're not very good with the editing thing, you know, you could just come out and reset everything you've done. Now, what I found very useful about this door with the wall thing is that you can put it, and as you can see, like the pyramid, you're able to use it as a sniping post protection slash thing, you know. And you always want to be on the right side of things, so it's very useful. And what's good about it is that, let's say someone's shooting rockets at you, if you put windows, the rockets could just go through. And as you can see, I built a ramp by mistake because of the turbo mode. If a rocket were to go through the window, it would hit this ramp and I will get damaged. But because the door closes, the rocket would not go through if it closes, and it'll just hit this wall and I'll be completely safe. Real quick, I also wanted to note that when you build your little box with doors, you actually can also use this little door in the corner to get some, you know, really sneaky snipes, like really dope, out of place, they won't even expect it, boom, snipe, like that, you know what I'm saying? So there's another little dope thing about the trick with the walls with doors. So here's where I find this method extremely useful. So let's say you are rushing somebody, right, and you start getting shot right here, and they're a little higher up than you. What this wall would allow you to do is defend yourself. It will protect you, and the good thing about it is that you can always just open the door and continue rushing again. Very useful. Now I find this to be so much more useful than just a regular wall, because let's say someone's shooting at you, you put up a wall, you're taking damage, you open it, you come rush them, or you go crazy, you go back crazy, you put walls everywhere, and you can literally maneuver yourself around and come out and fire from any direction. Now the last thing I do want to talk about is, okay, I have a pyramid. What do I do with the staircase? Well, you can do many things, and this one's actually more for preference. What I like to do sometimes is switch it between flipping it, which you do by pressing R3 by the way, and have it backwards. So that way when you're like at the top of a cliff, or let's say here, you are able to, you know, start coming down and get back to safety. Now, this is another thing that I have been practicing, and I find that if you master this could be extremely useful. Is when you ramp rushing, right? Let's say you're going up.
Let's see.
When you start, you can put, what's it called, upside down staircases. And what this does is that if they're shooting at the staircase you are going, you know, building up. So for example, let's say we're down here, right? I'm about to start ramp rushing. I put up a ramp, backward staircase, ramp, backward staircase, ramp, backward staircase. If someone's shooting at it, let's say from this angle, right? First off, the very first ramp is protected by a staircase, so they'll have to shoot this down and then the ramp behind it for you to fall. Now, let's say, as you can see, this one's completely like not covered, but from this angle, now they're way further back, it will be protected by the staircase. But what I find is useful is that regardless of the situation, you know, regardless if they shoot it or not, let's say they break this staircase. So let me have my ramp ready. Okay, let's say they break this staircase. What you are able to do while having your ramp out is that, let's say you're about to land here, when you're about to hit, you can build and catch yourself. Because of the backward staircase that you put, you are able to catch yourself before you hit the floor. So I find that extremely useful. And if you are able to master this, because, which I've been trying to, it is very, you know, it puts a lot of pressure on people, and it is very effective. It does waste a lot of material, so it's only useful when you have more than, let's say, 300 wood, because it will deplete your resources. So real quick, I also wanted to mention that a very useful thing you can do with the backward staircase is that usually when you build yourself in a tower, you know, you put up a staircase, and you know, you put up a wall, go around, and then here you put up a floor tile, and then put up another you know, ramp, and then now you're set, right? But you wasted space on the floor tile. So a lot of what the higher skill level players do is they just, you know, they put walls, ramp, they put walls, and then they put a ramp but facing another direction so that they don't have to put up a floor, right? But a lot of times you end up putting in direction you don't want to put it, and you know, you have to be facing some other way. So what you can do with the backward staircase is you can immediately just, you know, let's say you want to be facing that way straight ahead. So what you can do is you put up your walls, and then you put up the backward staircase at the end, and then when you come up, I don't know, turbo build, right? When you come up, you put the ramp, and now you're facing forward, and see, you didn't have to waste a floor tile. But basically what I'm trying to say is that you can put up your floors and then move up, backward staircase, and then when you move up, your forward facing ramp. So that way you don't have to waste on floor tiles. So it's more efficient. I think it makes it easier sometimes and more convenient, so that you want in the direction that you want to be facing. Now the last thing I do want to talk about this staircase is, instead of having it built backwards, you can edit it and have a little nice fancy staircase. Now this one's really good because let's say you want to go up a cliff, and you know, a lot of people just start building sideways and try to go up like this, right? And you try to get all the way up, and then sometimes you get stuck, and then you have to turn around and then try to get to it like this, and then, oh, I'm finally up, right? Well, this will definitely help you out a lot. You won't have to worry about it, because boom, I'm going up, I'm going up, boom, I'm going up, I'm going up, boom, right? But what I find is useful is when you're fighting hyper aggressive players that, you know, they already know the ramps and they box themselves in and they start shooting at you. Well, this staircase is very useful to counter those players, because what you do is you go up, bam, you go up again, and it does provide some sort of cover, especially if you built it this way where you always want to be on the right side, because you know your character is always on the right side. As you can see, I was able to, by just putting 2 pieces down, I'm already higher than that player. So you can use this to counter other players and keep going up. And let's say they usually would have to put what? They will have to put a ramp and a wall, then another wall, and then another ramp, and keep going up. With this method, you literally just have to put 1 piece and then another piece, and you would get higher than them, and bam, you know, haha, you come up on them. So I think it's really more of a preference. You can still use the backward staircase. In my opinion, you know, maybe you could switch it up. The backward staircase is very good for getting out situations. However, you can also use the fancy staircase and just rotate it to, you know, come down. Let me see if I can get up higher so I can show you. So let's say I'm right here. I think I might need a floor, and as you can see, you can still go down. So I suggest maybe the fancy staircase is better, but it's really up preference. A lot of people don't like the fancy staircase because they get lost in it, you know, they gotta go around. But these are the wall with the door. I find this to be one of the most effective things to use, and I don't really see a lot of people using it. As you can see, I'm being shot from behind, someone's rushing me. Let's say they start building higher than me. What I find that a lot of players usually make mistakes when they're ramp rushing is they forget, you know, guarding their back. So let's say someone's building up to me, right? They're right there. I open the door and I am able to easily get behind them, maybe put floor tiles to get under the staircase and go around and, you know, essentially beat them from behind. So I mentioned that when people ramp rush you, you can get behind them with floor tiles. I didn't demonstrate it very well, so I wanted to add this in real quick. And what I meant is, usually, you know, you're going up with a ramp, but if they beat you, they'll get on top of you like this. And what people do is keep building up. But what you can do is build floor tiles to get behind them and get, you know, a quick clip on them. A lot of times they don't pay attention, because what they end up doing is they keep building up and encase themselves in. Now, if that happens, you can also, maybe you won't get a shot, but you can collapse their structure early on. And usually what happens is, if you go up with them, your pieces interconnect, and it makes it much harder for you to collapse it later on. So it gets very dangerous. So if you collapse it right there, guess what? You got your fancy staircase and you can start getting the lead again. But try to do the floor tile, because a lot of the times people are so focused on rushing, they'll be right here, look, you know, throwing grenades or looking for you, and then boom, before they know it, you're behind them, you know. So that's I just wanted to show it a little bit better, because, you know, I kind of failed. I fell off, you know. So if you guys like this video, you know, I'm gonna start making a lot of Fortnite videos, you know, maybe give some gun tips or whatever, what I think in my personal opinion is good. But other than that, it's your boy J Meta, and I hope, you know, you find this video useful. I'm out.